Anderson cracks all the way back in, does. And he's locked in, but what a goal!
Inundated. So popular.
Welcome back to the Australian Qualification Tournament for the 2020 Olympic Games, Stage 2. My name's Simon Drada. I'm joined by John Murphy. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Simon.
Welcome back, everybody. This event just keeps heating up. There's a tense feeling in the hall. This round determines a lot in the women's draw. Meanwhile, we've got some big men's singles matches happening as well. Hemming Hu leads 3-2, I believe, against Finn Liu. He's just muscling Finn around.
I think you've got to give Hemming a lot of credit. He's certainly the man for the battle.
Oh, mate.
And he's certainly proved it again here in the early stages of this qualifier. I think anyone to get over the line and win 4 sets against Hugh Hemming, you've earned a win.
William Hensel alluded to it yesterday. You know, it's not about looking good out there. It's just getting the job done, winning points, and he's doing it. He's really doing it point after point after point. He's been challenged consistently, but he just keeps stepping up. The man with muscle is getting the job done.
Yeah, David, just to add to that, I also think, you know, you can just see that trust between him and his coach. You know, Russell Laval is almost playing every point out there with Hemming, and he's getting him over the line in these crucial matches.
Meanwhile, David Powell is locked at 3 games all against Dominic Wang. David's 3-0 up in this set, 3-1. However, he was down 3 sets to 1, so that's just heating up. If you're in the Melbourne area, I'd suggest you come down. It's just an amazing atmosphere. So we've got Michelle Bromley versus Stephanie Sang in this round. Michelle Bromley is on 4 wins straight. Stephanie Sang is on 3 wins, 1 loss. So this match counts for a lot. Other matches to get underway is Melissa Tapper versus Matilda Alexanderson. Melissa's still undefeated, John. Matilda, I think 1 and 3. So, you know, starting to sort of show the different qualities available.
Absolutely. We've got this match in front of us. Stephanie and Michelle. I don't know about you, Simon, but is Stephanie just involved in all the crucial matches at the moment?
Well, we're following Stephanie very closely after her win against Jan Feng Lei yesterday, John. It really set up her tournament, and obviously today with the Stephanie Sang rounds, she's got all 3 New South Wales players, one after another. So we're going to see a lot of Stephanie Sang today, and then, you know, Michelle, Tracy, Jan, Melissa are all lined up for tomorrow. So there's a lot happening.
I feel this game is going to be based on Michelle's complete athleticism, trying to get that forehand in all the time. Really love the desire that Michelle shows to get that forehand in. She's going to run a lot of steps in this match. Well, actually, it's normally a style that probably would suit someone like Stephanie, who can maybe feed off that speed. So, very interesting.
I believe Stephanie won 3-1 at ACT, John, or 3-2?
No, actually, Michelle won in the ACT.
Steffi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I mentioned earlier on, and I think it's the first live stream match I've commented on with Michelle. She's been one of, if not the most informed Australian female player of 2019 and leading up to this trials. So very excited to see how this match pans out.
Oceania Tour making the final there. Raced out to a 1-0 lead against Jan Feng Lei, but played some high-quality table tennis at the tour event all the way through. Lost in the final to Jan. Stephanie Sang, Melissa Tapper, all casualties of the Stephanie Sang, the Michelle Bromley run. Okay, there's just so much happening. We're going to try and keep you informed, but stay focused on this match as it goes 4-3 for Stephanie Sang. Dominic Huang now leads 7-4 in the 7th set against David Powell in that crucial match, whilst Hemming Hu 5-2, 3-2 against Finn Lu, looking like I think he'll run away with that now. I think he's settled and he just got on top of him.
Yeah, I think that that Dave Powell, Dominic Huang match down there just shows. Even with Dominic having lost 3 matches already, he's in no mood to give up his hunt, and also showing us national coaches on what kind of a competitor he is.
Look, mate, for me, he's just put too much in. Just sort of an outside analysis. He's put so much in. He's got so much pride, and he's saying, I'm not giving anything away. I've worked too hard for this until the death, until the last point, and I love that. You know, that's a great characteristic and shows great character of Dominic, right?
And I suppose we've posed them questions with the format that we played up, and it's what we want to see from the players. We want to see, you know, those players fighting for those individual wins, just showing what they have to offer.
It sounds like a recipe for a great program long term, John. Well done. 7-4, Stephanie Sang.
I think she's just what I actually said. I think she's just feeding off Michelle's aggressive game.
So Stephanie's husband is the coach for this match for Stephanie all week long. He was a teammate in Harbin, China, of Stephanie, so they've grown up together. They've known each other their whole life, basically. And he was quite the good table tennis player himself. So he's got the skill out there to influence the match.
Yeah, it's an interesting combination, and it's something you know a lot about, Simon. Coaching your wife, and I think having coached Melissa for so many years at such trials, and I think, you know, it seems to be working for Steffi. I've just got to say, I can't keep my eyes off the match that's not on the show court at the moment, and that's Dave Powell, who's battled back to lead 9-7 in the 5th.
10-7, John.
He's really going for the hat-trick of qualification wins.
So that forehand side, that open up, when Stephanie's onto it, it's a great shot. It's a pretty much jam-packed crowd here, John.
Yeah, amazing stuff from my first Australian trials event for one of the big 2 Commonwealths or Australian for the Australian team, and Olympics for the Australian team. Very impressed with the atmosphere and the intensity.
A couple of good serves to come here from Michelle Bromley. Flipping the net, going to 10-7 for Stephanie. Just going around the tables, Tracy Feng against Michelle Wu. It's gotten underway. 1-0 for Tracy. Marissa Tapper now leads 1-0 and down 2-6 against Matilda Alexanderson. Okay, just to keep you abreast with scores, we've got 11 all, 3 all between Dominic Wang and David Powell in that men's singles battle as Stephanie Sang and Michelle Bromley come back to do battle in this second set. Hemming, who's just finished off against Finn Liu, winning 4-2 there. Good spirited fight from the young man, but Hemming showing why he's number one.
Just looking at that match again over there, Simon, 12-11 now for Dave. It's just hard to get the ball by Dave. He's just staying in every rally, and Dom's having to play 5, 6, 7 balls to win a point.
Seeing it like a basketball, John. He's got to think direction. Good spin up there from Michelle, changing the pace up.
I think that's going to be that's going to have to be a big part of the tactics from Michelle Bromley.
Yeah, absolutely. And there it is. David Powell wins 13-11 in the 7th set against Dominic Wang to keep his record unblemished. David Powell.
Big respect there for David to come through that match. You can see how much momentum there.
Absolutely, mate.
Keeps him firmly in the hunt.
Well done, David Powell. And Dominic Wang for that matter, John. I mean, just still pushing hard, 0-4 now, but still giving it a real crack.
Absolutely. I think he's fighting to get into some teams later on in the year, and performance like that puts him right on the radar.
Tracy Feng now goes 2-0 against Michelle Wu. Melissa Tapper now leads 10-9, 1-0 against Matilda Alexanderson, fighting back from 9-5.
Extremely clever service combination there from Stephanie, bringing Michelle short forehand and then playing that quick backhand out to her backhand. Real trademark from the Stephanie Zhang.
That backhand punch, you just can't let her get on top of you with that backhand punch from a Michelle Bromley point of view. She will punish you. You got to admit, Stephanie sort of over the last 6 months has just been a constant little build. You know, week after week. She's had setbacks as well over the last 6 to 12 months. I remember a 1 week injury there, a 2 week injury with the back. Had to lighten up and readjust her training schedule, just pushed a little bit too hard. But she's looking fit, she's looking strong, and it's day 2. She played 3 big matches yesterday and no signs of...
Yeah, I have to say, and I said it yesterday during one of Stephanie's matches, big respect there for such a senior player who has, I suppose, done it all in the game in an Australian shirt to come back into the system and I suppose being able to start taking on advices from the coaches and I think the biggest thing I noticed with Stephanie is her just complete enjoyment to be in the table in the call. It's great for us as coaches.
I remember one of the first weeks I was at training, John, and Stephanie was one of her first sort of months in the practice hall, and I said to her, "You're going to go and practice with one of the players," and she stopped and she came over and she said, I haven't been around. Let me know who I'm training with. Didn't know the names, but now she knows everyone and she's built back into that team culture, that squad culture. So yeah, you're right, and the enjoyment she brings to practice each week has been fantastic.
Excellent.
Just been offered a latte. Sorry, John. Go on.
Excellent play there from Stephanie, just feeding off the topspin balls from Michelle, and then was able to find that wide forehand. Excellent. Michelle finding the forehand of Stephanie, which is.
That ball was telling there from Stephanie though, like the intention to counter loop the ball back instead of block it, John. It was something that's sort of been identified over the last months, that you can't just sort of play flat on everything. The spin needs to change, and that was a nice sign for me, seeing her try and half volley that ball back with her forehand, which wasn't happening 3-6 months ago.
No, absolutely. It was. To be honest, she was blocking that one off a lot. She was misreading that ball. She identified it as an area in her game, probably going towards these trials, that it would need to improve, and I know that she's worked hard in that area.
Nice fight back there from Michelle. Good change of length. It's that shorter ball, longer ball, changing that length, John.
Yeah, I just feel she finds a way to get that forehand in there. She just really adjusted her position on that kind of half-long receive and played a lot of spin and made it difficult.
There's a bit of conjecture here with the score. 8-all. The umpire.
Fiery atmosphere here, Simon.
Parents not letting one point go the wrong way, which is all fair enough, sorry.
I mean, yeah, I think we've seen how much it means to these players. They've put a lot of work into this.
Yeah. Smarter play from Michelle. Very smart play. Don't have to attack everything, John.
Yeah, and I like the way she angled the receive, not allowing Stephanie to play that backhand, and Stephanie had to come across and push, and that's clearly very smart play from Michelle.
Yeah. Going around the tables quickly. Oh, good get. Bromley, 10-8, 2 points away. Two chances to steal this set. Jan Feng Lei's just gone underway against Kai Peng. She leads 6-5 in that first set. Melissa Tapper 6-4, 2-0 against Matilda Alexanderson. Tracy Feng well underway and looks like tying up that one against Michelle Wu. And then we have Parlene against Connie. Go on, John. 1-1, Johnny.
Super play.
I really liked that game there from Michelle. It was a smarter game. It wasn't just sort of going for the topspin and trying to hit through Stephanie. It was a more well-pieced match, set there with a push, with a block, with a placement, with a slower ball, with a higher ball, with a longer ball. A lot of different changes out there. Again, another good change. And this is sort of my fear with Steffi. Sometimes she gets sort of the passive game is so strong, but sort of doesn't get enough activity happening in her own game, and she's feeding off to you too much.
Much more aggressive there, Simon. She was
flick,
obviously
right?
listening to the advice here in the commentary box.
She's got the earphone on, John. She's got the Apple earphone.
Yeah, I really agree with what you're saying. I think it can be a dangerous game for Stephanie to allow Michelle to play and play and play, because there's one thing is for sure, that Michelle is very good in that area.
Her fitness is phenomenal.
She goes for every ball. She's full of energy.
Yeah. I love watching Michelle play. Scotty and I was commenting on one of her matches yesterday, John, and we sort of described the story, you know, coming from 4 hours away from central Sydney. A family of table tennis in the shed on a farm. Brothers, sisters, father, mother, grandparents, all table tennis people in Australia. You know, 5 cracks at Com Games and Olympics and never made one, and then finally broke through 2 years ago for the Com Games. Sorry, John.
You just mentioned something there that I've been thinking about probably this whole year in 2019. How great of an advertisement is it for the female game of table tennis that we have 5 or 6 girls nearing or over the age of 30 competing for these spots. Just shows you how long you can stay in the sport and play table tennis. And ultimately, if we want to have a senior team, we want it made up of senior players. if a junior player gets into that team, you should be an exceptional talent, and I think that's really evident in the women's side of the game when you see so many of these female players who are competitive into the later stages of their career. And
I get emotional when I think of those sort of players. Like I actually get emotional thinking of Michelle Story and the over 30 sort of, and how hard it is to get into it. But the resilience it builds and the strength it builds in these individuals, the character building.
Yeah, and these are players who are going out to national squads, going out to their local clubs and practicing on a weekly basis. What are they giving back to the sport? Those young kids who are seeing these girls, these female players, practicing and competing into the later stages of their career. It's just a phenomenal attribute to Tailmans Australia.
Going around the tables, Jan Fang Lei now 9-2-1-0 against Kai Peng. I reckon those first round jitters of Jan Fang Lei are gone, John. Our superstar, our champion female is back. It's going to be hard to knock her off now, Johnny.
Yeah, we'll track Chan's progress. I mean, there's no easy matches out there.
I just got a feeling she's back, John.
Yeah, I don't think she ever went away, Simon. I think she of course, and I alluded to it yesterday in the first match. She was of course very nervous. She's a player that's not only thinking about qualification, she's thinking about qualifying and having a performance in Tokyo. I think qualification is only the first step for a player like Jan, who's shown form against top 20 players this year in the world. For Jan to get into the mix, maybe into the last 16 of an Olympic Games is not out of the question, and for sure she's thinking that. So for her to get over the first stage, which is to qualify throughout the Australian qualification, is only the first step, and I think we can see that she's nervous.
I'm still going to disagree a little bit with you. I think that I know Jan Fang Lei. I know she's around a 16 potential at the Olympic Games or even a quarter-finalist. As you believe in her so much, I believe in her just as much. I think that the reason why she's around a 16 and a quarter-final hopeful is because she deals with those nerves so well. She deals with playing table tennis so well over 25 years. She never shows a sign of it. And yesterday, it got her for the first time. And it was weird. It was different. But now she's back. And I'll stick by that.
Yeah, look. I
That's the beauty of ping pong, John.
I completely agree, and I think it's evident in the preparation that Jan showed when I go into the hall today. She's
back
here,
in there,
she's
getting
back
the job
in
done,
here preparing for her matches. So yeah, I think
I'm hopeful. We just keep seeing this. I just like watching this sort of. She's just a superstar. Anyway, back to the Bromley Stephanie match. Unless you got some final words there, John.
No, absolutely. Cool. Back to the action.
Stephanie saying.
I just feel, having kept my eye on this match while we were talking about Jan, Michelle just was a little bit anxious, maybe looking to do too much, especially over the table. She can be patient against Stephanie. She knows that Stephanie's probably not going to take the speed game to her, so she can afford to just push the ball back like she did there and maybe force the error from Stephanie. So interesting.
Hey. Okay, so we go 2-1. Stephanie saying, John. Early prediction, John. This one's going to 7. Around the tables, Matilda Alexanderson 0-4 against Melissa Tapper. So Melissa Tapper still undefeated.
Yeah, going about her business very, very well. Melissa, she's had those couple of close calls, but was able to get over the line, and then she's taking care of business against those youth players that we spoke about. Just a little bit too much creativity and a little bit too much going on, and she's able to close out those matches. I think this is a crucial set, Simon.
You're right about the changes. Like you can ping one more to the backhand, right, and then you sort of just wait for it. A bit more calm, is that what you're saying with Michelle? Just a little bit more calm. Like that backhand, she switched it down the line. She switched it down the line to sort of the middle of the forehand box instead of sort of, no, I'm going to go wide to the forehand, or I might as well just go wide to the backhand. Is that a fair call?
Absolutely. I just think sometimes she can be a little bit anxious, and I think she plays her best when she gets into a really good position and is able to unleash that form. Critical moments early in this fort. I think this set will have a big indication of where this match is going.
Yep. Jan Feng Lei 3-0 against Kai Peng. Tracy Feng's finished out her one, so she's also undefeated, John.
I was just about to say that, Simon. I think Tracy going through the tournament a little bit. You know, we haven't seen her on the live stream, and she's been comfortable in a lot of our matches.
Well, I've got some good news for you, John. The next round in the women's singles, it's Stephanie Sang versus Tracy Feng. That's the pick. Other matches include Lei versus Kerr, Tapper versus Wu, Bromley versus Alexanderson, Peng versus Sihogis. If you agree, we'll get Tracy Feng on against Steffi Sang next.
Good job. We're not paying royalties, or Stephanie Zhang will be going away with a big check the amount of time she's been on the show course.
Absolutely. It's a hard way back, isn't it, John? Like you got to go through quali 1, you got to win 9 matches there to get through to this one. Then you arrive, and match after match, you're tested against the best players in the country, right from Jan Feng Lei first match up, John.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's it. That's what we want. We of course value and want those more senior players to come back into the game and stake their claim to go to major events again. But there is a process in place, and I think Stephanie proved it by getting back into the practice and taking that year to really get back on the radar.
Jeff Price asked about the coaches. In Stephanie Sang's corner, we have Lincoln, which is Stephanie Sang's husband. He's grown up with Stephanie. A bit of background on that. Grown up with Stephanie in Harbin, China. Same training group, same city, and now a husband and wife. And then in the New South Wales corner, the Michelle Bromley. Unfortunately, I don't know his name, the gentleman. However, he's been working with Michelle for the past 18 months. He's a calm head. We've discussed different coaches for Michelle at these events. And we thought that just somebody who can calmly just analyse the game and offer a couple of suggestions and not get too emotional was the best thing for Michelle.
Sorry to interrupt you there. Superb play there from Stephanie, demonstrating how she plays so well down the line. Probably the best forehand I've seen her play all competition. Interesting, because this set was kind of drifting away from her. 7-4 now. Aggressive.
Oh, great ball.
There's definitely been a change in the mindset of Stephanie in the last few points.
She sort of calls it too late for herself sometimes. I think she's probably just in the process of realising, hey, I'm getting too passive. I've got to switch and be a bit more aggressive. And it's just a new shift for her, probably. And she'll get better at it, obviously.
Absolutely. Interesting moments in this fourth set. Again. You know,
Timeout?
It could be a good timeout. Obviously, no indication from the Bromley corner.
I feel like she's getting a free timeout here anyway. Ball slipped out to the other court.
I have to say, Simon, it's nice to sit back, not being involved in these games, and being able to see the changes, and clearly Stephanie has been way more aggressive in the last 3 or 4 points with her forehand side. Very interesting to see if she can keep that going.
You mentioned earlier in the day about, you know, the senior players just getting the job done real quick today. Another aggressive ball there, John. However, you mentioned about getting the job done real quick and getting out of here. I mean, the women's matches are pretty much over. Janfeng Lei 4-0 over Kai Peng. She's off to have a nice 3-hour break. Tracy Feng finished about an hour ago.
Yeah, you know, I also think it can be an advantage and a disadvantage at times. You know, sometimes the more time you get out there on the table, the more time you get to feel the ball. It suits some players, of course. Some players, and I'm sure Jan, who's in.
Good play there from Michelle. Jan, yeah.
Who's in that twilight era of her career, will want to get off there as quick as possible. Where maybe some other players want to stay out there a little bit longer. You know, I know someone like Hugh Hemming, for example, in the men's draw. He just wants to be on that table and get the feel for the ball and for every situation. So I think it varies for different players. Definitely more of a forehand exchange game.
Timeout called by the coach here. Will Shell respond? Yes, she has 9-8. Timeout called by New South Wales. Match in the balance, 9-8, 1-2.
Big backhand down the line. Just forced that forehand counter loop error. There was just that extra quality I felt on that backhand from Stephanie there, Simon.
More spin, wasn't it? A bit more bite on it. Just really gripped it and ripped it. Robert Deakin, is there another qualification tournament after to make the Olympic team? For single spots, no. We'll have 2 direct qualifiers awaiting invitation, but we've still got a 3rd player to come in through the mixed doubles event. John?
Absolutely.
Nice ball, lucky ball.
Yeah, we'll have 4 players, 2 men and 2 women from this event who'll take up the 2 single spots and also be part of the 3-man and 3-woman team for Tokyo. The last spot will be decided through potentially the Olympic mixed doubles Oceania qualification in April. And yeah, so still a lot to play for the players.
2-2, baby. So what's this mean for the draw here, John?
I think it's a crucial one for Stephanie, having already lost to Melissa. Michelle undefeated at the moment, so would still have a few more outs should she lose this one. I would say, yeah, a big one for both, obviously, but probably more crucial for Stephanie in this situation.
2 losses could get you through, though, John.
No doubt, 2 losses could get you through. This means you've got very little outs after this. 2-0 Michelle, good positive start. Trading backhand. Just that little subtle change to the middle from Michelle there forced the error from Stephanie. 0-3.
Nice ball. Nice ball. Bit of an off forehand to the middle. Hard to read.
Interesting to see how Stephanie reacts to this situation. Michelle clearly on top now in this game.
Good timeout called.
Absolutely clever timeout. Just feel that Michelle's bench coach very relaxed, very calm in the moment, and clearly a great choice for Michelle.
Absolutely.
Clever receive there from Stephanie, I felt, just tempting Michelle wide forward and just catching her a little bit, winning the point. Net service. Stephanie going for that low serve to the short forward, and it just clipped the net. 2-4. Dominating the table there, Stephanie. So quick to play that backhand when she felt that Michelle was out of position, giving Michelle no chance in the deep backhand.
0-4-3-4. Back in there.
I think you said it there now, 4-4, Simon. It's very interesting how many of these matches that a 4-0 or a 7-3 lead, it's not really a big lead.
No.
You know, we've seen Hugh Hemming coming back from 7-4 in the 7th against Nicholas Long. We've seen Melissa Tapper come back from 9-6 in the 7th against Stephanie Sang. You know, those
10-8 now.
Yeah, and 10-8 against Kai Peng. These mini leads, they're not huge, and you need to keep the momentum going when you have them. One thing I'm noticing, Simon, and I would love to have your opinion on it. I don't see so many coaches talking throughout the match now that you're allowed to talk throughout the points. Superb.
I guess there's a coaching on the training table. There's a coaching on the training table to teach the athlete to receive the communication, the coded communication on match day. And it starts sort of 1 year, 2 years before you get here, and it'll take you, given that rule change came in, it's a good 18 months to 28, 20, 30 months of work to get it right.
Absolutely, and I think coaches themselves are used to not being able to talk. Yeah, I think if I was to pick out one player and coach combination in this event, I would say probably Hemming Hugh and Russell Laval use it to their advantage. I know myself from, as you do, Simon, from sitting in Hemming's corner on the international arena, he likes that feedback. He likes to vent what he's thinking, and I think it's something that works for him very well.
Yep.
Spinny ball from Michelle, excellent. Just directing it towards the body of Stephanie, making her come across and try to make that block, and it was just enough to win the point.
She tipped the edge there.
But again, she hunted it. You know, I don't see that as a lucky point.
No.
I see it as a player looking to get in, looking to take the advantage.
Looking to get it wide.
And you know, white line is where you're going. You know, I don't see it as a very lucky point.
No,
I see it
agreed.
as Michelle looking for that.
The skill level's there, right? That looked a little tired for me, that one, John.
Yeah, just didn't get into position. Tried to go with feeling rather than the legs and the body. And at this stage, you know, that's an error on my part from Stephanie.
Not many long serves from Steph. Fast.
Yeah, I think she's very afraid of the.
There you go.
There we go.
She didn't capitalise.
Yeah.
And she's saying it to herself too. She knows it.
For me, she probably should have played forehand after that serve. I mean, Michelle directed it towards the middle forehand, and it is very difficult to come across and look for your backhand there.
Red ball.
Just a comment on Michelle's serve. I think a lot of people have a lot of problems with Michelle's serve. I think she sets herself up. She gives herself that opportunity to play. Stephanie dealing with it well there, but at times she more times than not, she sets herself up to really be aggressive after her serve. You can see it's an aggressive thought directly from the serve from Michelle. And just as I said it, two very good receives from Stephanie.
This is one of the big moment. Finish it up, go 3-2.
Exhibition female table tennis there. Both sides trading blows, and I think Michelle opting for the more, a little bit from the table, playing a little bit more spin, where Stephanie was really close, going early on the ball, and that proved for me to be the key in that rally.
Oh, smart serve. Just that half long white line sort of ball. Bit of topspin. Can't push it. Got to spin it.
Yeah, I think
smart serve.
Absolutely. I think critical the option of receive here from Stephanie. What will she do from the receive? Will it be a passive receive, which she tends to use, or will it be that aggressive, looking for that little flick?
Steffi's controlling the time again. She's shown pushed it too far.
For me here, I see Michelle getting in. It's whether Stephanie has the patience and the control to counter what Michelle is doing.
Michelle controlling the time. I think this is a bit of a showdown of control of time here, John.
Fantastic counter loop.
Beautiful counter loop. Great strategy. Yeah.
Advantage Michelle Bromley here. But as you said, Simon, I have no doubt that this is going down the final straight. I think I would expect nothing more than a 7-set thriller here.
A 7-set thriller. I don't think I can handle another one, Johnny.
I find it interesting. I actually believe that somewhere in the mind of both players, they feel the 7-set is coming, and I think that will be a key to the players who can when they have the advantage, who can continue that pressure and close the game out in a 5th or a 6th.
Oh, brilliant.
Big shout out there to Don Liu, who's done the coffee round, keeping us commentators well hydrated. I don't know about you, Simon, but I'm really intrigued by the mental side of these games. You know how Michelle was really dominant in the end of that 5th set, and then can come out and be 5-0 down in the next. I'm sure there's answers out there, but I find it a bit up and down.
Just a reminder, next up, Xavier Dixon versus Hemming Hu. Both boys in very good positions to secure spots. Obviously, David Powell undefeated, Hemming Hu undefeated, Xavier Dixon only 1 loss, and Nicholas Lum only 1 loss, John. So those 4 boys are on the front page of our leaderboard.
Fantastic from Stephanie. I just feel when she has that little bit more aggressive play in her block, the ball travels that little bit quicker with a little bit lower arc, and it's something that she seems to be able to do when she's in the lead and confident, but not so when it's in the close moments so far. Just to talk a little bit about those leaderboard players in the men's event, a good mix of experience and youth there, Simon. Is that traditionally something that would happen in a trials, or how has it been in the past and from your experience?
Yeah, on and off. I think it just depends on the periods. I mean, you can go back 20 years ago, players like myself and William Hensel coming through. We were the juniors, playing against the Lavales, the Langleys, the Smythes. Then as it went on, the Hensel became the experienced guy, and the David Powells were the younger players, or the Cole Davises. More recent, and then Christiane, obviously a bit of experience there too, a lot of experience. So yeah, it's always got a bit of a blend of both. But I think this year is a bit of a phenomenal one with the 14-year-old Nicholas Lum in a position to potentially qualify for the Olympic Games. Okay, here we go. This is where the guts comes out, the big fight. Three games all. Last messages from the coach. Michelle Bromley's used her timeout. Stephanie saying still has a timeout, John.
Yeah, it can be an advantage in this 7th. So we'll see from the Stephanie camp if she uses it and if she needs to use it.
Obviously, Stephanie running away with that previous set. Will the trend continue? Or will Bromley be able to defensive start from both girls?
Unbelievable backhand down the line there from Stephanie.
It was low, it was
she played
off.
Side on the ball,
Yeah.
and we alluded to it earlier in the box. You know, you got to use the side of the tables as well.
Well,
Stephanie really came out of the boxes again in this set.
One small comment to make here, John. Stephanie saying 9-6, the Melissa Tapper 7th set.
Absolutely. No matter how mentally strong you are in the game, I think it's very difficult to get those situations out of your head. 4-0 now for Stephanie. I really like the way she played those 4 points, Simon. You know, she was on top of the ball. There was no mistakes from Michelle. It was forced errors from Stephanie.
Down the line was phenomenal. Again, another good ball from Bromley. Keeps her in the game, 1-4.
It's just interesting how 1 point in this system can shift the momentum, and it'll be interesting to see.
That's a new serve. She hasn't played that backhand serve very often. Pulling it out at the right time, giving her something different, as you just sort of alluded to, how that 1 point can change things. Keeps her in there, 4-2. 2 serves to come from Steph. It's important to know that. Got the advantage.
Maybe a timeout could come from the Sang corner.
Yeah, I mean, from a Sang perspective, 4-0. You've just got to control that scoreboard from there, right? 5-1, 6-2, 7-3. Do you get me?
Fantastic serve. Something Stephanie's only done a couple of times in the match.
That only missed by millimetres, by the way.
It just shows you how agile Michelle is around the court to be able to stay in that rally and look to be so aggressive. You know, I like to see that. I know she lost a point, but if she continues in that way, I think you have a better chance to win the points.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Wow.
I really like that combination. Stephanie really pushing long on purpose, knowing that Michelle is going to spin up and then just waiting to go over that ball.
It's a sort of plays that I'd like to see more aggressive players learn as well, so they can become two-dimensional. Hope is not good enough here. Strength, fight, determination, a way to win the point. Back yourself from Michelle Bromley.
I just find Stephanie very, very emotional in the games here. A lot of fight. I don't know if that's usual character.
She was only in her early 20s when she was making the Olympic team. John, like she was just a Tasmanian. She migrated to Tasmania some 20 years ago. Played at nationals. No one knew who she was. She cleaned up in the youth area, and then sort of started getting into the national team as a 17, 18, 19-year-old. Held that spot for a few years. She was sort of a quieter player with the likes of Meow Meow, Jan Feng Lei, senior players in the team owning that team. Obviously, it's a different culture now with our teams. But I think that my point is she's expressing the true Stephanie Sang here. This is her sort of character. Yeah, it's nice to see, really.
Absolutely. Very good backhand, by the way, by Michelle there to stay in this match. Again, super aggressive. Knew what she wanted to do after the serve.
This is that moment, John. This is the one I was talking about. I made the sort of comment of 9-6 in the 7th against Melissa Biggs, and these moments for Stephanie.
For me, it's a timeout here. Timon.
Yeah. See?
You know.
Yep.
There we go.
Pulled by the player.
And that's a common trend in senior table tennis, especially where it would be agreed already by the between coach and player that they would choose the timeout. So it's not uncommon to see that.
It's all about the blow up, right? I mean, with kids, you're sort of waiting. You're trying to pick when they're going to blow up, let's say, and then you call a timeout early to just educate them that you don't blow up. And then it goes from there. So once they become senior players like Stephanie, you know, Stephanie's not going to blow up. She's just going to back herself, which you need her to back herself before the point. I mean, that's what you want from your players, to be positive and back themselves.
Absolutely.
So you don't call a timeout early when they're backing themselves.
Yeah, there is that 5% when maybe the player, the coach can see the player, maybe you know, they're so in the match that they can't see it, and I think you have to be a brave coach in that situation.
Absolutely. Or you all know your player so well that hey, just take a second.
I think we've all been there as coaches. We've got some good ones and we've got some bad ones. I don't think there's a good or bad timeout. Just on that subject.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever taken a bad one.
I'm speechless in the box here, Simon.
Big point. That was a big backhand punch, wasn't it?
Just that aggressive play. I mean, she showed it now in the 6th and most of the 7th, but we're in this 9-6 position, Simon, that we referred to. Big point for Stephanie.
How does this one go?
Superb from Michelle.
Play from Michelle Bromley, hanging in there, hustling away from Wollongong.
I think Michelle would have practiced for this moment over the last 4 years, probably, and in all the matches that she would play in weekly fixtures and so on. She would know she would come to this moment. So I think she will have full trust.
Wow. Both girls. Look, I mean, I can't comment on that one. They both played the point very well, and somebody had to win it, somebody had to lose it. There was not one bad shot in that. I mean, maybe you can question placement, but it was placed okay. Some sort of an alarm has gone off. Looks like the players know. There's going to be a bit of a pause in play, I believe. An alarm has gone off. What a time for that to happen. Oh, wow. Wow.
You're never out till you're out, really, are you? And it gives that opportunity back to Michelle to get back into this match.
Both players get a net there, though. I feel like there was a sort of a questionable shot in both.
Yeah, I think I didn't see what way the ball was spinning there. There was spin, there was no spin, there was potentially coming off the finger of one of the players.
You were out twice there, both players, and both players hung in there, and Bromley had the better of it. Match ball. 1, 2.
Super from Michelle.
Strong, powerful.
Always searching for that middle.
Resilient.
She couldn't find it there on the first block, but the second block she found the middle, and to be fair to Stephanie, she was trying to play forward from the middle.
Strong. Oh, I don't want to see anyone lose. Call it a draw. Well, Stephanie's saying 4 games to 3.
Just the past comment on that match, Simon. I think a great demonstration of how strong our women's team actually is, to see these matches going down to the wire, and Stephanie just coming out on top there. And I mean, Michelle's still very much in the hunt, but Stephanie puts herself in a great position now. we'll be back for the men's round very shortly.
Open the lead at Premiers. How does that sound?
Big wicket, and that one bounced. Come on! The Premiers, yes, it's fine. The ball flipped. The driver has been safely gone. Schroeder are going through. It's all over for Southern. He's out. Gillum Jones is out. Can it get over the top of Anderson?
get over
Tracks all the way
Anderson.
back in.
It
It
is.
does. And he's locked in. What a goal!